Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I've had several questions asking what is behind me on this bookshelf. So today I wanted to go over all my little trinkets and treasures with you guys. Because if you didn't know or haven't guessed, I love strange, weird things that are just like super cool and totally off the wall. And figured today would be a good day for a little show and tell. So if you like things that are kind of weird, creepy, and kind of gory, make sure you stick around to the end and I will tell you what is in a little mason jar right there. So the first thing is, if you've seen my video where I talked about traveling mistakes, you've already seen these, and I kind of just forgot to put them back like in their little homes, so their new home is on my bookshelf. So in that video I talked about the rocks that I had picked up when I was in Colorado and the Rocky Mountain National Park. So I really like this rock because you can see the amount of time it took for this rock to form with the many amounts of layers it has going on. And then the other one was a piece of red rock, which the Rocky Mountains were covered with red rocks all over the place. So I wanted to make sure I got a little bit to bring home with me. Okay, now we're moving on to some cooler things. The next thing I want to talk about is my pride and joy, which is right there. And that would be real dinosaur eggs. So these eggs are Segnosaurus eggs, and a Segnosaurus was a dinosaur that was around about 85 to 100 million years ago, and it was an herbivore and walked on two legs. And so back in the 1970s, there was a huge nest that was found in the Gobi Desert, and it was either in southern Mongolia or northern China. So the Gobi Desert kind of goes in both the areas, so I'm not exactly positive where the nest was exactly located. Oh, also something about it too is if you see dinosaur eggs that are like this, that aren't just like sitting by themselves as an egg, chances are that it's not like a full egg. The fact that they're sitting on the rock like that, it means that there's actually missing pieces underneath, and that's basically what they could form together. They found the fossilized pieces for that, but they didn't have all the pieces, so that's why it's kind of the rock around it. So another fossil that I have, you guys can't really see right now because it is actually directly behind me, like it's sitting like right there. But it is a fossil that me and Lonnie had collected from when we went to Drummond Island last year. So if you haven't seen my video on Drummond Island, which you should because it's kind of cool, but there is a really cool place there called Fossil Ledges, and it is exactly what it sounds like. It is ledges that are made up of fossilized coral. So that's exactly what you're seeing right here. All right, and now we're gonna move on to the stuff that like makes me seem really nerdy. It's bad, guys. It's like there's no coming back from it. So me and Lonnie went to an antique shop and I ended up picking out two books from there. One of them was this, the Home Health Guide. And so this is from the year 1965, and I really like it because you can kind of see like how stuff has changed over time. So I don't know, I just kind of like to open up and flip through it and see what's in there. So the second book I picked up was the Handbook on Chemistry and Physics. And let's go into a quick side story. I'm like one of those people that is like academically smart. Like I always got straight A's and didn't really have to study and kind of half paid attention in class and still like would always do good on my homework. So I skated by my whole life like that, except for chemistry in high school. And that is the only class ever, like even since going on to college and all that other stuff, that I got a D. And I only got a D and didn't just fail it is because I was doing so poorly. I ended up reaching out to the teacher and would go into the class after school and they would help me with my homework. Like there was the teacher and then the teacher assistant, and that's the only reason why I even passed the class. I was so horrible with chemistry, which is really funny because my career now, I work in a laboratory and basically science is everything, and I've had to take a bunch of chemistry classes and organic chemistry classes since then. So it's just kind of funny how like life totally turned out that way, because chemistry was just not my thing and now it's just something I use all the time. I feel like this video is just going to end with you learning a whole bunch of stuff about me. The next thing I want to talk about is the fact that I read a bunch of books, and a lot of the books I don't actually read. I listen to audiobooks like a lot. So I put a couple of my favorites up here just to kind of have, since it is a bookshelf after all. So one of them is Smack, which is about two teenage heroin addicts. I know, didn't see me going that way, did you? The second one is White Oleander. I remember watching the movie when it came out and loved it. And then finally, like 20 years later, I got around to reading the book and it was amazing. Which, of course, if the movie's amazing, the book is going to be even better. And I mean, that's pretty much what happened. So, spoiler alert on there. And then my most favorite book of all time is Night Circus from Erin Morgenstern. Her books kind of have a fantasy aspect to them, and it's just really cool that the way she writes it, it makes you feel like you're there like the whole time. Like, I'm well aware this world did not exist and I did not live through it, but after reading this book, like, I still can picture it as if it was like my real memory, like parts of the book. It was completely amazing. I 100% recommend it to anybody ever. Yeah, and now you can see I'm kind of like a book nerd because I'm like totally geeking out over this, but stay with me, guys. All right, the last thing I want to share with you guys is like my other like pride and joy of the things I own. And if you're squeamish and like don't like gross things, this is the time where you should probably just stop the video because this is the last one. That's why best for last. But it's this guy right here. This is a cow's heart. It's being preserved in 100% alcohol. So what I really like about the heart is that it's bisected so that you can see the aortic valve, vena cava. I kind of forget, I haven't done anatomy in so long, but I mean, it's there, you see it, it's up the top. And then you can see all 4 quadrants, oh my god, not quadrants, chambers, 4 chambers of the heart. So yeah, that's all my cool collection items. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give me one of those likes. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. I totally appreciate it. And I do promise that I will be going back into the wide open wilderness soon. It's just a little too cold right now, but I spent the weekend basically planning out the entire year's worth of trips, and I promise you there are so many cool places that we're gonna go. I cannot wait. So I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Thanks. Bye.